Welcome to the 13th Floor Vet Chat, a WBN production with your hosts, Wayne Townsend and...
My name is Richard Best. I'm the CEO of WBN, We Belong Network.
That's what's up. And today's special guest today, we have Johnny H. Williams, Jr., founder of Help is on the Way. Today's topic is we're going to talk about some suicide prevention, and we want to thank Mr. Williams for joining us today on the show.
Thank you,
Mr.
very
Williams.
much, sir. Thank you.
No, I work for a living, Mr. Williams. We had that discussion already, all right? Don't
Yes,
call me
sir.
sir, okay? You did it again. No, okay, I'm sorry. So let's get into it, Mr. Williams. What inspired, can I call you Johnny?
Yes, sir.
Johnny, what inspired, call me Wayne, please.
Okay, Wayne, sorry about that.
No, you're fine, you're fine. What inspired you to create your organization?
I kept hearing about how veterans were trying to get help in so many different ways in different places. And for some reason, it either took too long or it just wasn't working for them. So I put my brains together and I said to myself, come on, let's try to do something. Let's try to find people who can help us do exactly what is needed. So in the event, I started seeing a lot of different people that came together to help out with this, what we call Help Us on the Way for Veterans 1024. And since 2008, we have actually been moving forward with veterans information fairs and things for your husband, things for your wife, things for your children. And right now we're at the point of we're trying to keep it moving, as Uncle Sam teaches us.
Shoot, move, communicate, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I have a question. How does your organization help the veteran community, and how can veterans reach out to you?
Number one, our email is Johnny H, which is JOHNNIEH, Johnny H at Mindspring, MINDSPRING.com. And the other thing is, because a veteran don't like to be talking to you all day long, they don't like that. We have our website, which is called helpisonthewayforveterans.net. On that website, you can see everything. Whether it's the person's address or their telephone number or their email, or even looking at the person that you're talking about.
Okay. All right, the other thing, I understand that one of your biggest concerns is the suicide rate among veterans. Why?
Yes, sir. Because, let me put it this way. Myself, I always use myself as an example. Once you use yourself, it makes a difference in what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I've already tried 5 times. And it's not the point in how many times that you try, if you understand what we're trying to show the person that's in that stage. Right. When you get to the point where you're looking at somebody and something just doesn't seem right, we got hotlines, we have everything. We have people that you can come in and can talk to about what you might think the person's going through. In my case, from Vietnam till this day, it was just terrible until I finally found people that helped me to slow down a bit, shall I say. When people think that it only happens to you one time, that is not true.
So the demons never left you is what you're saying?
No.
The demons never left you?
No.
And I have to say that, that's proof positive that there is a God. I mean, I don't want to turn this into a religious sermon, but 5 times?
Yes, sir.
Successful? Unsuccessful 5 separate times.
Yes.
So wow. So what? I understand you shared with me earlier that alcohol would play the.
Yes, alcohol, drugs, marijuana, the whole thing. Because see, what people don't understand, when you come back, a lot of times you leave the things that you've been trying to do in your life, and then when you do come back and you try to tell people the things you want to do in your life, people tell you what you should not do, and you're caught in an atmosphere that you don't even want to be around, so to speak. When I came home, I'd done everything from jump from one roof to the other roof, and when I found out that I wasn't the only one that was doing that, I was surprised. I thought I was the only one. The Russian roulette game, I actually tried 3 different times, and it didn't work.
Okay, how can veterans reach out to Help Is on the Way? And what are the hours of operation?
Help Us on the Way is 24 hours a day, because once you either go to the website has everything that the veteran needs to know by seeing the projects. let's say like August the 19th, when you go below the American flag, you're actually seeing the video of the people that are there, Social Security, IRS,
Great.
whoever's in the video. Then you go above the American flag, August 19th, and what are you seeing? The person's name, address, email addresses of every person that you just saw what they look like.
Okay, great. So what message would you like to send to veterans that are suffering and thinking about committing suicide?
The thing about the veterans, you must realize that there's something that's bothering you. You have a pretty good idea of what it is, but you just won't speak up to tell the person that you should say. And that's the person standing next to you. You know, you'd be surprised of who will give you that help once you say, excuse me, I need a little help. Can you help me? It could be the stranger standing right next to you, and that stranger will say, I'll tell you what, I have a number for you.
Mr. Williams, so you're author of 6 suicide prevention books. Is that correct?
I'm the author of the Suicide Stopping Now is book number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Right.
So and that comes out in a couple weeks.
In a couple of weeks it'll be out. And believe me, we do not make jokes, first of all. This is no joking mood, till I put it that way in a light way. The book tells you exactly what you need to know, what others really don't want to stress to you. And just by doing that one book, the next book came out, which I wasn't expecting, called Who Am I? And I always talk to my Father in heaven. He's in charge of me. He's the one to tell me you have to stop and do something. And I said, who am I? What happened to that? He told me, who are you? And then I thought it was finished. And then he said, what about Out of Darkness? I said, I never made 3 books like that. He said, excuse me, I'm in charge. When you read those 3 books, you are actually standing outside looking in and finding the reasons why you should not believe what people say about you.
Yes, yes.
And this is from the 13th floor Vet Chat, WBN production, and we're speaking with Johnny H. Williams, Jr., founder of Help Is On The Way. And we're here talking about suicide prevention, his latest book. I know you mentioned off air that this particular book is going to be a little controversial, because you name names. Is that
Right.
is that
It was
fair? Is that fair?
Yeah, that's what it's only one name in the whole book, and it's the name of the person that asked me to put in it, because the facts that are verified are by the person who actually has studied me for more than 10, 15 years in the condition. Matter of fact, the person had me locked up.
Okay.
When they locked me up, they said, come with me for a minute. And I didn't know
All
what
right,
they meant.
we met. Okay, when you met locked up, you mean like for a psychiatric evaluation? So okay,
Yes,
that's what.
yes.
I want to be specific. He wasn't arrested. He was under a 72-hour psychiatric hold or
It
something
was
like that.
21 days.
21 days. Okay.
Right.
Were you still afflicted with alcoholism at the time, or
No,
was you that detox, or was
no,
that?
I had done the detox and everything at that time already, but it's the point that I was still in that mood, and believe me,
You're a danger to yourself.
yes, I am.
Now, has these demons that plague you, have they ever spoken to you to commit any acts of violence toward others, or you just
No.
wanted to harm yourself?
No, I just wanted to harm myself.
Okay.
That's one of the main things. And you see, if you don't take the time to say to somebody, I'm having a problem, that is the biggest thing, because who is it that we can say that to? That's your problem. That could be, I've been married 3 times, not because I'm a bad person, but how many times can a person sleep with a person that's screaming every night in the same bed?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Been there, done that.
And so I'm trying to tell you, how can I say to my wife, I'm having a problem, when she says, yeah, I got my PTSD from you?
Yeah. So with that saying, since you said that, do you think all of these were PTSD related?
Yes, I do, definitely. Because in our world, the PTSD, everyone thinks that I'm
And
just
that's
a nice
post-traumatic
person.
stress
Post-traumatic
disorder.
stress disorder. You got to understand that everyone went through hell, whether it was war or whether it was not war.
Yes,
I'm the one that
yes.
show you what you as a medic and you put the first Band-Aid on somebody, you really had PTSD. When you went to basic training, they didn't call it back PTSD then, but I'm telling you, you had PTSD.
That's right. Now, whether it was diagnosed or not, it's 2 separate issues.
That's the
But
issue.
definitely every veteran that served in the United States Armed Forces come out with PTSD in one form or another.
Thank
It
you.
will simply manifest itself at a later date if it hasn't been already diagnosed.
That's right. This is the 13th floor vet chat. Your host, Wayne Townsend. We're Mr. Best, and we're here with Johnny H. Williams.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
Yes, we're back to the 13th floor vet chat. We're here discussing suicide prevention with Johnny H. Williams. He's the founder of Help Is On The Way. And giving you the website again, one more time.
Help is on the way for veterans.net.
Okay. Help Is On The Way for veterans.net. And that's founder and owner, Johnny H. Williams. Okay, so I know we discussed, you said the suicide rate for veterans is up, right?
Yes, it is.
They said it's up. We knew it to be at 22 a day. Now it's up to,
It's about 30 now.
wow. Okay,
Wow,
and that's
really?
the latest.
Yes.
Oh, so I mean, so these are not these are the current vets. These are the vets from the current.
All.
Yeah.
All.
Yeah, because I volunteer at the VFW in my town, and one of the guys that works with the suicide prevention said he said pretty much all of the World War II, Korean, and Vietnam veterans that killed themselves already did it. The ones that are contributing to the numbers now are the vets in the theater, which I find, I don't know, fascinating is not the word. I find it, I don't know what the right word, so I'm searching for it, but all of these vets are in the service volunteer, because this is a volunteer army now. And
Yes.
I know Mr. Best was drafted. I don't know about you, Mr. Williams. Were you drafted?
No.
So you volunteered.
Yes.
But in your time of service, people were getting drafted. No, the draft doesn't exist now. So all of these vets that are volunteering to go into active duty are coming back damaged to the rate of 30 suicides a day. So I mean, and I know your books speak to that. So again, I know we already asked, but I mean, if it isn't too much, could you talk to us about your personal struggle with it? And you said that's the one somebody reached out to you and prevented you from doing it 6 times. So walk us through that last time, because that's what the vet need to hear. They need to hear that last time when you said, you know what, this is it, and you didn't do it, and then you decided you're not going to try it again. So,
Right.
or is that a struggle? Again, I know it's a 2-part question, but do you struggle with that every
Yes,
day?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so talk us through that. Talk to the vets about that, please.
Well, the main thing is this. You may think that it happened to you once. I mean, I hear all the days of who did it, who, and stuff like that, and I'm still alive in the process of still talking about these things. That's number one. But the last chapter in the book, I thought I was finished writing this book, and my Father in heaven, like I tell you, I do talk with him. It's not whether you believe it or not. I'm telling you something that you should believe in also, and asking him for help. And he told me, he says, you need to write the last chapter about what happened to you. And I said, are you kidding? I can't do that. He said, I'm in charge.
Amen. Okay.
When I wrote that last chapter and I spoke to the person whose name is in the book and I told her about what happened, it's because there was somebody that you trust. Understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to you, sir, and you, sir, we're both in the room.
Yes.
And the other
absolutely.
gentleman in front of me, he's saying to me, Johnny, get a second opinion. Johnny, get a second opinion. You know what Johnny doesn't do? Because I trust you, I don't get that second opinion.
Well, without revealing the last chapter of the book, but I guess my question was, walk me through how that transpired for you. What was your thought process when you said, okay, this is it? And then what did the person say to you? Or did it just click? You know, what I mean, do you wait for a click, or is it or did you just give yourself over? I mean, talk to me through that.
I gave myself over for the simple fact that when it did happen to me, I couldn't believe that I'm doing the same thing again as I walked down that path of where I had been 5 other times before. And then what happened to me, my mind was so blown, I said, I can't believe that I'm still doing this. When you trust somebody so much and you don't have the time to say to them, can you please sit down and talk to me for a minute? That's when you're in that stage of suicide. And it's not easy to, I'm still here today.
Yeah.
But if you think that I don't have it in my mind, you're wrong. Look at the person across from you. Or even when you read the book, I already gave 6,000 books away for free. It's not about me making money. It's about me trying to save somebody's life.
Amen to that. And we want to direct your listeners, if you have any questions, go to WBN Radio at WeBelongNetwork.org. Once again, that's WBN Radio at WeBelongNetwork.org. Direct your questions for the show. Direct your questions to Mr. Williams, to Mr. Bess, or myself, and we'll be happy to read your question on air and have Mr. Williams address it. You know, again, want to thank you. Mr. Williams, no, stop calling me sir. Could you stop calling me sir, man? Because I know. Were you enlisted or an officer? Come on. Were you enlisted or were you an officer?
I was I was
non-commissioned. You're not. So was I. I work for a living, Mr.
Specialist
Williams.
fourth class.
Okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? When I got out, I was sergeant first class. Okay, so we work for a living. Okay, so you know,
sir.
all right. Wayne.
Matter of respect. I get it.
I get it.
Sam,
Listen,
Sam.
listeners, I'm just joking. That's it. If for those of you, for you listeners, don't understand that the enlisted man does all the work. The Army doesn't function without enlisted men. The officers take all the credit and they get all the glory. And you know, they went to West Point, so I get it. So blah 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 blah. But so when you the greatest insult you can give a non-commissioned officer in the United States Army is call him sir. Because he works for a living, as opposed to the people that you have to call sir, which is the officer class. But then again,
Yes.
I digress. So allow me that, Mr. Williams. I appreciate that. So yeah, please continue.
One of the things that is most annoying to most people is that if you take my wife, she had watched me for more than 10, 12 months because she already seen me in that stage. And for a person and your family member to keep watching you because they know you're in that stage, it's not till they see you slowly coming out of that stage, but they don't know when you're going to go back into it.
Mm-hmm.
My books lets the person know that it's not over yet. Anyone, and I've done this before on another show, anyone who tells you that once we take care of you, you're going to be fine and that's it. We went to a funeral a couple of days ago. You'll see it on my website also. One of the people that we love, as we always do, he committed suicide.
Wow.
And nobody can believe that he would even do something like that. But that's the problem. Nobody knows the problems that you're going through.
Right.
They only think that they know what you're going through.
Well, most veterans suffer from that same delusion or illusion, depending upon how you look at it. When you're dealing with your family members, they never knew what you went through. So they can't associate what you're going through now. But they see the effects of it. That's what it is. So I have a question for you. What are your goals to lower the suicide rate among the veteran community and here in the city itself?
We have a lot of times that we get together, we talk with one another, and we discuss it in certain groups that we're in about suicide and stuff. And we give them the opportunity to say, listen, can I talk to you later? Can I call you tonight? And they don't have to discuss everything in front of you. They'll call you later, and you'd be surprised the help that person get, or the wife, or the son, or the daughter. They all call and talk about it.
Yes.
This is the 13th floor, Vet Chat, WBN production.
Fue pintor más de 30 años. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer Association y the Ad Council.
Mario.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
This is the 13th floor, 13th floor vet check. We're back with Johnny H. Williams, founder of Help is on the Way. All right. Thanks again, Mr. Williams. So, again, you were talking about what you were thinking about before we went to the PSA. You were talking about what you, your thoughts and how you are working toward preventing suicide in the future. So, could you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, one of the things that let's say you hear from someone other than a veteran, they're going to tell you how the veteran is screaming, how the veteran's yelling. I've done the same thing, screaming, yelling, sometimes knock holes in the walls. That's when you see that person. Well, it doesn't make a difference who it is. They in the attack mode. You may not think that something's going to happen to you today. What about tomorrow? What about the day after that? These are all the things that you can see. And when you're looking at somebody and you see how instantly they get mad, the biggest problem I used to have problems with cab drivers and all the people that should drive crazy. I pulled in front of a tractor trailer to stop him from trying to run me over. Now, who would do that except for somebody that's looking for something like that? These are the modes that we find ourselves in. We are in such a bad mood, but nobody knows the reason why we got into that mood, especially your family members. How many family members actually don't even come and see you?
Yeah, you're right. And I have to ask, have you tried to reach out to the VA to help with your program? The Veterans Administration how has those communications gone? Are they helpful? You find them? Are they resistant? Or are they just, is it a black hole of information? You know what?
No, we have what's called the Veterans Information Fair. I've been allowed to do this since 2008, and we have so many programs for our veterans, the family members. You don't even have to be a veteran to even come into the program, because the lives you might save is someone's person that they love.
How do they get that information? How do they
They
get
can
that?
either, like we have the fly right now, this 130 West Kingsbridge Road is Bronx, VA, and they call it Black Friday. And I tell people, instead of going out shopping, come to 3D22 and the Bronx, VA at 9 o'clock, and you're going to see 60 different tables to help with every, and I mean every problem that a veteran or their family member can have.
And okay, so from my understanding that the VA is not open to the grounds. It's a closed ground. So you're saying it's open to non DOD and veteran personnel on that date?
It doesn't make a difference who you are. They do not run the show. I make sure that everyone comes in that needs help.
Okay.
Help means the whole entire family.
I get it.
All right, so that means that anybody can walk in off the streets. I think that's the question he was trying to ask.
Yes.
All right, the community at large is welcome to it. Well, that's a great thing, and that's on 3D22?
3D22 is from 9 to 3:30.
Next to the physical therapy room?
Right up on the third floor. We had to have 2 rooms because usually 2,700 people show up at each event.
Right, and that's a
This
big,
event,
that's a
I'm
big
looking
one.
for 3,400.
All right.
Just like the problem that I had with my medical and stuff like that, and the gabapentin and all the stuff I take. Well, after this meeting that we have on that day, I won't have to take gabapentin no more.
Great. Now that's something great to to celebrate actually, because
Yes.
having to take any kind of drugs for any kind of reasons is harsh.
Yes.
So, no, I'm sorry. That was me. That was on me, guys. I was trying to motion Mr. Best to come closer to the microphone, and he thought I was telling him to be quiet.
I was, I'm like, okay,
Because you'd be surprised about veterans, not just veterans, but let's say veterans anyway.
Right.
I was taking something like 36 types of pills.
36.
Yes, and I'm not joking. You can look at the history of come on, pop.
36.
I couldn't remember which one I had to take.
That's why I stopped taking
And I
medication
started
today.
getting you had to tell your doctor that this is not working right for you, and they
Right.
will wean you off.
Right, exactly.
They will wean you off. That's how you do that. Do not do it another way.
Absolutely not. And you're right. I was also one of those. I've had post-traumatic stress disorder, and they've given me a conglomerate amount of pills to take, and I actually weaned myself. The doctors weaned me off all of them.
Yes.
And I was taking like 12 of them, and today I take nothing. Okay.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, but it's a process. You
Oh,
know,
yes,
it's not
yes.
something that you should take on by yourself. You know, you have mental health that you need to deal with. You have physical health that you need to deal with, and then it's your spiritual health. So it's a round table of things that you need to handle, or get fixed, for lack of a better word.
Right. And the VA hospital is one of the best places that you should be, because in that hospital you had the camaraderie of all the people that are there who have went through problems before, the past, cancer and everything like that. And we learn from each other once you come to the setting of learning that. You got a problem? Look at the veteran right next to you. He'll tell you the best way to handle that problem.
Yes, amen. That is so true, because I've been there 1,000 times, okay, like I said, and I came out on the top. I'm still here, let's put it that way.
That's it.
And we, old guys, Vietnam veterans, we've come a long way.
Sure have.
But you know what? We still got a long way to go. We got work to do.
Thank you.
I know that's right. And Johnny H. Williams Jr., founder of HELP, is on the way, author of his 5th book, Suicide, Stop It Now, to be on sale at Amazon do you have a date? I know you said a couple weeks.
It's
Is
going
that
to be
date?
about 3 weeks from now. They,
All right,
they
so
just
just before-
doing the cover page.
All right,
that's
so
all.
they're still working on it. So look at that. We're going to promote that as we move forward. Obviously, we're going to move forward. Do you have any last words? Anything that you want to impart to our listeners? You know, anything
This is one thing that helps, and I want everybody to listen to this. Anybody can tell you what they want, but I'm telling you. I have a daughter by the name of Christina J. Williams. She graduated with her master's at the age of 22 years old.
Wow.
Every time I'm getting all these crazy feelings in my head, you must find somebody who makes you smile and laugh in your life. That moment that you're going through, that little hell you're going through, it will disappear. I think of my daughter all the time when those things happen and they're gone. Find someone that you love, friend, best friend, I don't care who it is, and watch when you get angry. Think of that person and it's gone.
Right. In other words, find a happy place.
Thank you.
Those are words, inspiring words, and we want to thank you, Mr. Williams, for contributing, sharing your story with us, and we know that helped many listeners out there. And remember what he said: hold on, find that happy place. Mr. Best said, find that happy place, find that one person that makes you smile, reach out to them and hold on to that. Alrighty. And on that note, Mr. Williams, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
And we want you to come back. Okay, I'm gonna let that one slide. Okay, we want you to come back and talk about this once the book drops. Once the book drops, we're gonna have you back.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
is that good?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
All right, you got it, guys. This is the 13th Floor Vet Chat.
And just past that vintage denim jacket, you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council. Sweet straw.
Yes, this is the 13th Floor Vet Chat, WBN production. I'm your host, Wayne Townsend, and here with me is Mr. Best. And this portion of the show, we're going to talk about student resources here at the college, at Lehman College. For those of you who are not familiar, we broadcast from the student life, not the student life, from the student radio station here at Lehman College. So today we have Louis. You always got cats. I know, Louis. I just Louis Sotero Rodriguez. He is the director of the Office of Veteran Administration and Military Affairs here at Lehman College, and with him is his right-hand man, Rene Cabrera Gonzalez. He's the Lehman Marine student veteran, and we want to welcome them to 13th Floor Vet Chat. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, welcome, gentlemen.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Okay, Louis, let's start with you, Mr. Rodriguez. Let's start with you. Okay, so what does the director of Veteran and Military Affairs do at the college? What do you do here at Lehman?
So just a quick background on myself. You know, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, OEF 0304. I was also, after separating, I was a CUNY student. I went to BCC, graduated, came over here to Lehman College, graduated, and also went back for my master's here at Lehman College. So I was a student of the CUNY system, so I knew, you know, what was missing coming into this position as a director of Veterans, Military and Veteran Affairs. So coming into this this position, I wanted to make sure that I created that community here for the veteran students who are either newly separating from the military or if they have sort of was trying to find that transitional period in their life where they wanted to know, you know, what they wanted to do with their lives. So here we just here at the office, I help them to provide many different types of programs here. Of course, the program that we concentrate more is how to maximize their VA educational benefits, their Title 38 benefits, either as federal or their veteran tuition assistance, which is from the state.
All right, and we're going to talk about that in depth. Okay, so so walk me through. I'm a new student. I'm walking in the door. I don't know nothing because and this is a true story. I'm not even making it up because I came in and I was like, you know, and I always think I'm the smartest guy in the room, you know, and that's just a, I'm sorry, that's
an
just,
officer?
No.
Hey.
But no, all jokes aside, and I was absolutely clueless. I didn't know what I didn't know, not only did I not know what to do, I didn't know what I was entitled to.
Right.
So I'm a brand new student walking in off the street, and age is not an issue. I mean, you know, it's first contract. You know, I mean, I spent 25 years in the service, so I mean, 25 years here. I know, you know, shoot, move, communicate. I know that backwards and forwards. I come in here, I don't know my butt from my elbow. So
well, you know, in the military, you know, you're given instructions.
Absolutely,
you know,
that's right.
A, B, C, D. You know,
That's
you come
right.
out. There's no instructions now.
No.
Right.
So the good thing is that we do have a dedicated veterans website. So for those that are separating or just want some information on the veterans in the college here, we have the Lehman College Veterans website. Right. Now, coming into the college, if they were to walk in, I do ask for the admissions departments or any of the departments to say, hey, you're a veteran. Go see Louis. That should be your first stop,
Yes.
right? That way, they're treated with respect as a veteran. And first and foremost is to actually give them the waiver. A lot of people don't know that there's an application fee, there's a commitment fee, and a lot of that stuff can go easily over $200. So the first thing I say, hey, if anyone tells you to pay anything, you say, no, I'm a veteran, and they should already know that you should get a application/commitment fee waiver from the office. That's the first thing. Once I guide them through that process, a process of the admissions process is sort of like a check-in. You have two parallel movements and entities moving. You have Lehman College and you have the VA that you have to sort of balance, right? The VA side of the house, now you have to make sure that you do apply for your benefits that you're entitled to, whether it be in vocational rehabilitation, whether it's Chapter 30, whatever education assistance you're using to pay for it, you should know how to maximize that, right? On the Lehman side of the house, then you should also know what are the steps from the, like you said, from walking in, not knowing nothing, all the way through, admissions to advising to actually, registering for your classes. Our office has computers. We have college assistants that work in the office that we're the mentorship program. We're there to make sure we walk you through all this. We don't know, you don't know how to register for class. We'll sit down with you and register for class.
So I know you do this at Lehman. So
I'd like
is
to
that
ask a quick question first, please.
go ahead?
This is Richard Best, CEO of WBN, We Belong Network. And this question's to you, Renee. How did Lewis assist you with utilizing your benefits?
Oh, well, I came in just like Wayne was saying. Like, I was one of those veterans who came in off the streets and, well, I had vocational rehabilitation program going on, and I didn't know how or what to do. So basically, hello?
Yeah, sorry
Okay.
about that technical difficulty. Apologize.
Start it over so
Okay.
everybody can hear.
Okay, so basically, I was like Wayne at first. I came in, I had the program, I was under vocational rehabilitation, and basically, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I came in, I was calling everywhere until I met Lewis. Lewis guided me from step one all the way to the end. And it was reassuring because I didn't know what to do at first. And with his help and the help from other veterans, I was able to register for my classes. And now I'm actually in a position where I'm taking what was given to me
Good.
and I'm presenting it to other veterans.
Good. Did you have any specific skill sets when you came to Lehman at all?
Basically, my computer background a little bit, and my customer service skills from what I was previously doing before.
Okay.
Other than that,
So what do you want to graduate in?
actually currently in a computer information systems
Okay, great.
degree program, and from there, just go into the computer field
Right.
and work my way all the way up to
Well,
CFO.
we at WBN could use you.
Yes, indeed.
Now, you mentioned it twice. Lewis mentioned it, and Renee, Voc Rehab. What is Voc Rehab?
Okay, vocational rehabilitation is a program provided by the VA that persons with a disability rating of 20% and above are eligible to apply for. It's an employment program which basically their goal is to get you a job.
Okay.
So, which sometimes requires training. So they'll go ahead and pay for the training in order for you to get the job.
Okay. No, I'm sorry.
Definitely.
Well, and the biggest thing is with Voc Rehab, there's a sort of like a two-sided program there. So whereas if you're a post 9/11 recipient, post 9/11 GI Bill, you can switch over to Voc Rehab and you'll receive the post 9/11 GI Bill benefits at their BAH rate.
But tell us about what's post 9/11 GI Bill. What is that?
Okay, so backtracking, if you've served in the military active, depending on how many days they prorated, but if you the post 9/11 GI Bill is sort of like a remake to the Montgomery GI Bill, which was established in 2008 to change how the Montgomery GI Bill was. So with the post 9/11 GI Bill, after again because of the 9/11, everything with OEF and OIF, what was going on, they felt they needed to revamp the Montgomery GI Bill, and they did. They raised the BAH rate, which was great.
What's the BHA?
I'm sorry, the basic housing allowance.
Okay.
Basically, for students, student veterans, they get that BAH, that basic housing allowance, to sustain them. Because I remember when I was going through, I was getting a Montgomery GI Bill, and I was getting $1,000 a month. Right.
Okay.
So now when I hear these guys getting $4,000, $3,000 a month, I'm jealous.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, man, I could have used that money too.
For our listeners,
nothing. You kidding me?
for our listeners, BAH is basic allowance for housing. What happens is in the military, there are circumstances where they can't. There's no room to house you on base, right? Or sometimes you get promoted. So I mean, higher enlisted or officers don't live necessarily in barracks. So what they do is they give you, they figure out, they have a formula and they create a fund where they give you the money to pay your rent so you can live off post. So what the government decided to do, the VA decided to do, was these veterans that were having issues with housing and such and so forth, they decided that they were going to give them treat them the same way as if they were living off post, to give them money so they can live off post addition to going to school. Don't let's because the VA pays full tuition for all city schools, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
And it gives you they also give you a $500 stipend
For
per
your books.
semester for your books.
Correct. So,
Right.
so for all you vets out there, this is what you need to do, and you need to come in and speak to Lewis. Yes. Lewis will get you on the right track. Make sure that you're getting your money, getting your paper that you earn, and veterans got to get out of that that mindset that I just did what I had to do. No, you earned it. You earn these. Right. You earn these. These are called entitlements for a reason. Right. They're entitlements and they're benefits. They're not. It's not.
Right. And they're totally transferable to family members as well.
Yes. They're working on. My son actually aged out, but tell me, I know they're working on changing that, right?
Right. So so they're working on that where excuse me, where you can transfer. You get 36 months. You could transfer months to your family member. Whatever minutes you want to give them.
Right.
But what makes that more attractive to New York City now is that New York City, the living expenses is high. So guess what? The BAH rate is also high here. So when personnel soldiers are separating from the military, they see that one of the highest BAH rates is New York City. So they've never been to New York City. Guess what they're gonna do? I'm going to New York City. So so then now you start touching on the homelessness here because now they have no family here. They come in here for the BAH, they're trying to study, so now they're looking for housing as well. So that's another big
what happens? What happens to make them drop out of school and become homeless and lose their benefits?
Well, again, it goes back to before 2017, a lot of landlords weren't incorporating the BAH as income.
I get it. Yeah.
In November as of November 2017, I believe it was 2017. Now they enacted the bill that basically they have to now incorporate and kind of calculate that BAH, as income. That way they could rent a place to a student veteran. The fear of the landlord was they drop out of school. Now how are they going to pay the rent? Right. So that's the biggest thing.
This is the 13th floor vet chat. We're speaking with Luis Rodriguez, director of the Office of Veterans and Military Affairs, and Renee Gonzalez. Okay, we have a little technical difficulties right now, so I'm sorry about that, gentlemen. So,
you're fine.
Yeah, so follow up on that, Louis. So I know that sometimes you have seminars. You bring outside agencies from the city, from the state, to have every semester you hold a seminar here at school, right? So talk to me about the coordination. Have you gotten any resistance from bringing outside third party, I guess, agencies to the campus?
From the actual campus, you mean?
Yeah, actually, and are they just here to pump their horn, or are you seeing that they're actually helping the students? Talk to us about that.
Right. So again, as a student myself, I saw what was missing here. Besides, having that community is having those resources. We always talk about resources. So, the biggest, I sort of survey to see what exactly these guys are really trying to hone on. And if you really think about it, a lot of people when they separate from the military, it's the claims, right? So this perfect example is a claims expert. I have no obstacle to bring them here because I'm hosting them, so I'm sort of vouching for them. I get the space available for them. We get the students, we put it out through social media, through emails, through voice. We make sure, hey, we're having a claims workshop today. Make sure you attend. So yes, we bring. And one of the other setbacks to that is that it's hard to get folks to the resources. So that's why I try to bring it to the college.
Right.
Because a lot of folks are like, I don't want to go downtown. Or I don't want to, VA hospital's 5 minutes away. They still don't want to go there, right? So I try to bring the resources here so that way they could take advantage of it. Especially when it comes to claims, when it comes to VA home loans, when it comes to legal services. And everyone that I've known has nothing but positive feedback with these workshops because it's something that's needed and it's a priority. Especially when, like I said, VA home loans and
absolutely
claims. So Renee, he can touch on these workshops and, how he can more or less, how it affected him if he wants.
Well, we're going to get to Renee in a second.
Okay.
Let me do this, pay some bills.
Hi, I'm Amine. Sometimes starting a conversation with a friend about mental health can feel awkward, but your support can make a huge difference. You know your friend best, so if you feel like something's wrong, trust your instinct and reach out. Learn how to start the conversation at seizetheawkward.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the JED Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This is the 13th floor Vet Chat, the WBN production, and we are here at Lehman College, TBJ Radio, that you listen, and we have all types of programs here. One of my favorite shows is Changing the Narrative, and you guys know why. Changing the Narrative, where we talk about movies, all things movies from the inception all the way through marketing. And another show that we have is Jazz on the B-Side with Professor Susan Watson Turner, where she gets you all insight into some of your favorite jazz songs that you may not necessarily know the artists, the backgrounds, and she goes into it. And her show is today, Wednesdays, is live Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Changing the Narrative is live Wednesdays at 5 p.m. here on the Bronx Journal Radio. We are here with Luis Soltero Rodriguez. He's the director of the Office of Veterans and Military Affairs here at Lehman College, and Renee Cabrera Gonzalez, who's also a Marine. We're not gonna hold that against him because, if it wasn't for the Marines, I'd have to actually, get dirty. But that's okay. He's a Marine vet, and I know we talked about Lewis. So does your office exist CUNY wide?
Yes.
So there's someone in your office at every CUNY college.
So for best practices, yes, there should be one. I believe this may be one or two colleges that might be missing veterans representative there, but they do have resources there that attend training in order to military competence training. That way they can know how to handle the veteran population there. Oh, I'm sorry, the VA community. Say this right. 'Cause a lot of people think that veterans, when they go into college because they're getting VA benefits, they're automatically veteran. That's not the case. Dependents, service members, active service members, and veterans. That's what makes up the VA community. Right. And a lot of folks, like I said, they think, the dependent go to school. Hey, you're a veteran. They're like, no, my dad was. So they kind of don't know how to handle that sometimes. But you're a veteran, not so.
Now, let me ask you the question, Louis. What other programs or benefits do you offer the students or the community at large?
So one of the biggest things that, like I said, I just saw so much that was missing here. When I started working here, one of the first things I had about 8 VA work studies just working in the office. I was trying to see what is it, So I asked them, all right, what do you do? What is your purpose as a VA work studies? What is your workload? And a lot of folks were like, well, we're just here to help the veterans, and they come in. So one of the biggest things that I started it was what I like to call the VA Student Experiential Learning Program, which is in conjunction with the VA Work Studies, which basically allows veterans to work in their field on campus.
Right. We have a few of them ourselves. Thank you very much.
Exactly. So, and that's just it, that, when you leave the college, you graduate, you have a degree, but if you don't have any experience, people just say, hey, this degree just says that you could attend class, you can study, and you could take a test. That has nothing to do with computer information systems, right? So I'm constantly out there. When the veteran shows up to my office, they want veteran. All right, what do you want to be when you grow up? I ask them that. and say, hey, I want to be a computer information system specialist. So I started digging into my contacts. I was fortunate to be working here 11 years, which I know a lot of folks here on campus. And I reach out to them, say, hey, I have a computer information systems student that I would like to get him some meat for his resume.
Right.
So speak to that, Renee. So that's a good segue. So go ahead, speak to that.
Yeah, definitely. So right now we're still working on that one, but we have student veterans who we actually put them in their field. Like say we have a
we have
well, for lack of a better word, we have several right here.
Actually,
that we use in WBN. We belong network.
Dennis Alvarez,
videographers, right? We can go on and on. We got at least 5, 6 of them here.
Yeah. And they came by our office looking for little work study, and then Lord and behold, there you go.
Right, now they're gaining valuable experience that they can now take on to the outside. And not only that, we will further train them as far as they really want to go in the entertainment industry, behind the camera or in front of it.
Right, and as you get, as you receive those VA work studies, the most senior work study becomes a mentorship for the newer guys who will come into that program and say, hey, all right, Mr. Best likes it like this. He likes his coffee, two sugars in here, like sweet, that type of deal. So, but it's, that's sort of what I envision seeing. And like I said, I know that these guys need that experience. Experience stands out.
Well, we're always happy to work with you. We have nothing but positive experiences dealing with the veterans under your tutelage.
And it become liaisons between our office and your department.
Yes.
And I know you guys are working on an alumni, right? A Lehman alumni or a vet alumni. Have you gotten that off the ground, Renee?
Not as of yet. Right now, we're still promoting and building up our Lehman College's Veterans Club.
Okay. Do you have a website?
Actually, yes, we do.
Give it up.
Our website is in the CUNY in lehman.edu. Go to the information.
So you have the Facebook LC Veterans, right? That's what we're sort of starting our platforms with. Then the clubs have their own websites and the platform. So, but we're trying to really, try to get a social media expert to work with us.
Sure.
Because that's a full-time job, just working with social media.
Tell me about it.
Listeners, you hear that?
It is. It's hard because you have Instagram. Because we do have we have Facebook, we have Instagram. We have those, but again, and it's Instagram's. You can search up LC Veterans, Facebook LC Veterans is there. But again, it's hard with the manpower, behind everything.
Yes.
So as we start developing little by little, hopefully our manpower will grow, and we can definitely flood the social medias with our stuff. So.
Okay.
So but I'm assuming that will be open CUNY wide, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, that'd be great. I mean, so
now the other piece. I'm sorry. To
no,
cut
you're
you
fine.
off. The other piece. I know Lehman College has an alumni office as well.
Right.
Right. And they're fairly new folks that are actually working in that office now. They're actually establishing sort of like an alumni platform or anything like that, just so they can, a mechanism just to in-house all the. So they've asked me about the veteran population as well. So what I've been doing is sort of, we need to start setting up the meetings now to kind of hone in on exactly what they want to do, because they're still working on that piece, and then how the veteran side of the house can kind of play into that.
Yeah.
So what I've been keeping track of basically is everyone has been graduating. So I do have sort of a database that I'm sort of slowly putting together.
The veterans that actually graduated.
Right.
And do you follow them after they graduate to see what they're doing?
Right. So there's a few veterans. Most of them usually, once the lights turn on, they scatter. Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of folks they have moved away. But yeah, from time to time, they still on my listserv. So they have not. All the emails I send, because they know that anything that comes into my office resource-wise, I shoot it out to the listserv. I get calls. I get a lot of emails from folks that say, "Hey, thank you for this. I pass it on to this person, and this person, he got a job working there now at Con Edison."
Right.
Stuff like that. So, and that's the biggest thing is that network piece.
No,
Right. I know a lot of companies also offer veteran choice or the veterans opportunities for positions within their companies. With veterans preference. That's what I'm going for.
We have a question for email from Summer, and she asked the OVA, Approximately how many veterans are currently matriculated?
Currently matriculated?
Yeah.
So it's an estimated, I want to say it's about the veteran population, I want to say about 170 to 180. Depending side of the house, you have about 20 or 30 there.
Okay.
So it's estimated. The reason why it's estimated is because there's more veterans here that are matriculated that if they don't receive benefits, in all actuality, they don't need to come to my office, right? So they're not receiving. They go into the admissions office, they get admitted, they have no VA benefits. They're gonna go to school and then leave, so they don't need to check in with me at all.
Oh, okay,
So
I
now, so that's just it. So that's why the numbers for veterans here are estimated, because now I sort of chase those guys. I go to admissions office and I work with them to give me sort of a Excel sheet of all veterans who have applied and self-identified as a veteran. Because if they don't self-identify, then again, I can't track them.
Right.
Right. So that Excel sheet again, if they're enrolled, there's two pieces to it. If they applied and enrolled, then and they don't have benefits, so I check for my I cross-reference them for my database that I'm tracking, right? So the folks that are not in my database, those are the folks that I call. I try to call up and say, hey, you know that there's a veterans office on campus. That's the first piece of that.
Wow.
Right. Second piece of that is the ones that are applied and are not enrolled. So now I go after them, sort of like a recruiting strategy to say, hey, what happened? Maybe they were missing a JST. Maybe something that was missing to sort of help them to come back to school either next semester or even if I catch them early enough that semester.
Yeah.
So I have a question, but hold that question. This is 13th Floor Vet Chat, WBN Production. I'm your host, Wayne Townsend. We're Mr. Best, and we're here with Luis Sotero Rodriguez, Director of Office of Veterans and Military Affairs, and his right-hand man, Renee Cabrera Gonzalez. He's a Lehman Marine student vet.
She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I asked what kind of family she wanted.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer Association y the Ad Council.
Yeah, welcome back to the 13th Floor Vet Chat. I'm your host, Wayne Townsend, with Mr. Best. We're here with Director of Office of Veterans Affairs, Luis Sotero Rodriguez at Lehman College. So anything you guys want to add to first of all, Wayne, thank you for being here, but is there anything you want to add? Anything, last minute shout outs or anything, what you got?
Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us.
Give us an email. Give us the
right,
email.
Luis, Luis. Actually, let me take that back. Veterans.affairs@lehman.cuny.edu. Phone number 718-960-7188.
Now say the number slower.
718-960-7188.
My man.
All right. This has been Vets Chat from Vets from the 13th Floor. I'm your host, Wayne Townsend. I'm here with...
My name is Richard Bass, WBN CEO.
That's what's up. All right. And we want to thank our guest, Johnny Williams. We want to thank our guest, Luis Sotero Rodriguez. We want to thank Renee Cabrera Gonzalez for participating on our show. And this has been Vet Chat, 13th Floor Vet Chat. Thanks again, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.